Hello and welcome to Segments with Mark and Amber. Segments is a comic book podcast where Amber and I dive deep into Marvel and DC, the Archie universe, all the other big-time comic things. And with me, as always, is the Jean Grey to my Cyclops, the Invisible Woman to my Mr. Fantastic, and the Wasp to my Ant-Man, Amber.
Hello.
Hello.
This is episode 18 of Segments. Segments, by the way, is a podcast where we talk about all sorts of random topics, and this is the first time we've talked about comic book type.
Oh, I thought we were predominantly a comic book podcast, and all the other ones were kind of just leading up to this moment.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't look at it that way.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I feel like we're going to have trouble finding content for our future episodes.
Well, I think I've got some ideas lined up for you. So
right.
I've got a whole back catalog of comics that I've been saving for you.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I read some Archie and Jughead in my day.
I think we should be predominantly an Archie and Jughead, the original Reader's Digest kind of sized comics that you get in the supermarket checkout lane.
Yeah, that's for sure what I read with my cousin Jill. Nowadays, I watch Riverdale, so I could kind of balance the old and the new.
Yeah, you could hold them in tension. You know that the Archie people have kind of reinvented the Archie comics. Now there's Archie and the Undead. There's Archie. He does all sorts of crazy stuff now. Let's say it's not as family friendly, from what I understand. Not like Riverdale.
No, right. Well, in episode of 18 of Segments podcast, we are going to be doing a superhero quiz. Our topic today is superheroes.
Superheroes. We're all about the superheroes.
And another segment is going to be What Superhero Are You? Quiz.
Amber and I are both wearing a cape. We've got our super tights on, and we're ready.
You can only assume it's me beyond this mask.
That's true. We don't know who it is.
My secret identity. We're also going to discuss our top 5 superheroes, because who doesn't love a top 5?
Everybody loves a top 5.
I do.
Yes, me too. So, yeah, it's going to be a very, very fun episode. Amber, how could people contact us if they wanted to?
Well, you can find us on all the social medias, on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at SegmentsCast, and you can email us, segmentscast@gmail.com.
Does anybody say social meds?
I do.
I think this might be the second episode in which you used the word
I thought
social
it was the
meds.
first. It's definitely not something you want to overuse.
I don't know. Yeah, I know. I don't know. I don't know.
It's a shortening of medias.
I see. I get it. I get where you're going. It stuck out to me all the times that you've done it.
Oh, no. I didn't even know it was more than once.
Oh, well. Amber, and
I thought it was quirky off-the-cuff thing I just came up with.
Well, I just want you to be you. I just want you to kind of get comfortable here.
Here I am.
And there you are, Meads.
I'm comfortable.
And you didn't have to waste all the time saying, yeah.
No, we saved so much time.
Oh, well, Amber, we did get some feedback on the social meds this last week or so. We had a huge show last week. Huge. We had the finale to the Battle Arena, which people were clamoring for.
Yeah, everybody was like, I got to wait how long to figure out who won?
Yeah, what's going on? I need more. And we said, people, just hold your horses.
Yeah, in case you're a comic book fan, just jumping into this episode to find out about comic books, you might not realize the Battle Arena we're talking about is one in which breakfast cereal mascots were pitted against each other.
Exactly. And so I think we started with, 16 different cereal mascots. And we whittled them down to Tony the Tiger and Lucky the Leprechaun. And Amber and I didn't feel like we could make the decision who is going to win in that fight. It was too close.
Yeah, it was definitely close.
But Amber, we have a clear winner, which we're going to get to in a moment here. But let's talk about some of the feedback that we received.
Yeah, I was excited to see some of the feedback. People had opinions.
So I'm just going to start by... no, Amber, you start. Why don't you read Gabriel's response here?
Oh, my goodness.
Great. This might be the one.
This made me so happy. Okay, this came from Gabriel Shockley.
Who is EDM Samurai?
He is EDM Samurai, famously known as our intro and outro music provider and our nephew. He titled, this is an email titled, Tony the Tiger versus Lucky the Leprechaun. Here we go. The tiger pounces for his opponent. Lucky just barely dodges. He looks up at Tony and realizes something. He can only see through one eye. I love that. That's a callback.
Yep.
Tony lost an eye in a previous battle. Tony growls, trying to scare the leprechaun. He pounces yet again. Lucky jumps out of the way, but gets slightly scratched from Tony's claw.
Uh-oh, it's not looking good.
Lucky teleports away, hiding. Mm-hmm. Tony roars and starts running to different possible hiding spots. He eventually finds Lucky hiding in a tree. I can totally see that. Developing his plan. Tony hops onto the tree. Lucky was expecting him. That's the thing. Lucky is so wily, he's expecting him.
Exactly.
He punches the tiger in the face with the help of some magic. Absolutely.
So it was a magic enhanced punch.
Yeah, that's Lucky's whole thing.
That's his whole thing, yeah.
Tony covers his one good eye. Love it. And backs away. Lucky begins casting waves of rock-solid Lucky Charms at Tony. He sends a giant, tasty red balloon directly into Tony's face, permanently blinding him. Lucky then finishes him off.
Yeah.
Yes.
So good. And what I really think what Gabriel brought to the table there, Amber, was that he was casting waves of rock-solid Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
Like, it's obviously something that he's capable of doing that we didn't even think about in previous battles.
No.
It was like a finishing move that he stored up for this moment.
Yeah, he'd already brought Tony to his knees, and then he just pelted him with those Lucky Charm marshmallows. I think that's part of his deviousness, right? He knew he had to leave something in reserve. Because Tony, with his one good eye, is going to be watching the previous fights. I know what Lucky can do. Yeah.
Incorrect, Tony. He's casting
He
Lucky
hadn't
Charms.
even done this yet.
He'd never done this.
I don't know. I don't know if he'd done a magical punch. He probably had, but
he
I
like
saved
that.
Those things, and he won.
Very good.
Won,
I really
to Gabriel.
appreciated that that narrative. Very good.
Me too.
All right, we got a couple others. My mom responded. She said, got to go with Tony. He's a classic good guy, straight up playa. I should have read this before. That's too good. He's not a shifty, sneaky, money-hungry leprechaun. Oh, so she's going kind of a character assassination there.
Yeah.
And technically, she wrote Mott, a shifty, sneaky.
This might have been when she was on her pills for her back pain.
Pain meds. So,
Bobby Joe says she voted for Tony, and her reason was he's a tiger! !
Yes. So
I mean, that is true.
That's true. Emma, who is of Hauntings on Twitter, our daughter and the graphic designer.
Yeah.
She said Lucky's too tricky. I think that's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's too tricky. Have you seen those kids try and catch him? Tony won't be able to lay a finger on him.
And Tori agreed.
Yes.
She commented on that. That's what I'm thinking, too.
Absolutely. So, and then finally, or not finally here, but Diane said, because Lucky Charms. So I'm guessing that means she's a Lucky Charms fan.
Yeah.
So, and she left some nice emojis.
Or maybe she means because of the rock hard pelting that can be done with the waves of them.
That's true. And she always carries a rabbit's foot everywhere she goes.
Ooh, and so she's real superstitious.
Yeah, apparently. I don't know.
My Aunt Nancy said, my very favorite cereal, nobody's tougher than Tony. So she voted for Tony.
Tony.
I don't know. Can Frosted Flakes be a favorite cereal? Oh, people. Not to interrupt the feedback, but I tried Frosted Flakes with Lucky Charms with Frosted Flakes, whatever. Fantastic. You do have to deal with the frustration of chasing the flakes around the bowl.
I like an adventure.
You call an adventure, but wow, was that a good flavor combination?
I saw. I didn't get a chance to try it.
Well, yeah.
So, Laura, or mother-in-law, your mom, Laura, said Tony is great. He'll win. So I like the positivity. I like the catchphrase usage there.
Yeah, definitely.
So, okay, here we go, Amber. This one is so long.
I love it.
It's from,
I have not read it all the way through because I didn't know it existed till just now. This was posted when you shared it on your page.
On my Facebook page. So this is from my good friend Justin Dumois. He said Tony would win hands down. He's a tiger. I feel like if Tony Tiger were portrayed in the Lifetime film, his character would be played by Mike Tyson, who is of kind temperament, but also knows how to use them fisticuffs.
Oh my gosh,
I love this. He's a tiger. #claws, #death. The leprechaun is scrawny and tricksy, meaning he couldn't win a fair fight. He would have to cheat. Frosted Flakes are great. Lucky Charms suck. Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
Justin, we don't use that kind of language on... Yeah, I'm just kidding.
saying they don't suck. They're fantastic. But I love that he put an actor. Do you think this means he listened to my putting actors with?
Maybe he did.
Or it's just a natural thing that people do. They look at a cereal mascot and they try to figure out which actor represented.
What famous actor? Mike Tyson, the super famous actor.
I can get behind Mike Tyson here.
He's not an actor, Amber. Is he? Mike Tyson, he's a boxer.
Okay, celebrity. How about that? Celebrity.
Okay. Like Big Brother.
But he's being played by him in a Lifetime film. Justin's making him into an actor, whether he is or not.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, correct. Yeah, Justin goes on to give a lot of details about the film. Amber, do you want me to read all this?
I kind of do.
Okay. If he were portrayed in a Hallmark film, he'd be played by the same actor who plays the dad, the uncle, the benevolent fisher, and the retired vineyard owner from the other films. And his handsome nephew, grandson, foster son, financial advisor would fall in love with the quirky city girl who just moved into the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
And at the point in the movie where she feels most conflicted about the relationship, she gets advice from old Tony, who says, he's more than good, he's great.
But in a Mike Tyson voice, he's more than good.
Great. Is that Mike Tyson? Oh, no idea. He bites an ear. Lucky would be the snotty rich boyfriend whom she just dumped, but he followed her into town so he could win her back with a Pandora bracelet and a stupid necklace. Yeah. She almost gives in, but then she remembers the advice she got from Tony and finally is honest about her feelings for the handsome baker grandson nephew, so she sends Lucky packing. After a change of heart featuring a more agreeable attitude towards the charming small-town community and a willingness to participate in its quaint and festive routines, she decides to stay. Her and the handsome third cousin, half-brother, orphan man fall in love and have their honeymoon in the backyard because Hallmark films are both unpredictable and low budget.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow. So that's amazing, Justin. We thank you very much. And so if you couldn't tell, he's rooting for Tony in the arena.
And he's just hashtags. This took an unexpected turn. Hashtag if you've seen one. Hashtag you've seen them all. That's the Hallmark movie. I love that. Good. When I did my research for our Hallmark movie Christmas quiz, that was very, very true. All those premises. He wants to see this on Channel 88 on St. Patrick's Day weekend.
So good. Oh, man.
So my mom...
Epic.
Oh, Tony the Tiger wins. Oh, she just commented again. She's getting her vote in there.
Double.
His voice telling us that it's great is powerful. Yeah, for sure.
It is true. The power of positive declarations, I think, is what we've got going on there.
That. Yep.
Yeah. And then Jessica said, Tony the Tiger for sure. That scrawny leprechaun doesn't stand a chance. Lol. So it was a very exciting match.
Yeah.
We can tell that. We had a Twitter poll and a Facebook poll. One thing if there's a math magician out there, what I can't figure out is I know the number of votes and I know the percentages. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, say we got 4 votes and 3 voted for one and 1 voted for another. That's 75%, right. 25%. But in the Facebook poll, we got 59% to 41%, and I don't know how to break that down to figure out how many. So Adam's a math guy. I bet Adam could figure that out.
Yeah.
Give me an equation so I could plug this kind of stuff in.
But the same person won on both polls.
The same person, yeah, it's not causing a conflict. We just don't know the total number.
I see.
To add the 2 polls together to create one, like dominant prime poll. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so Lucky won. Lucky the Leprechaun in the battle arena defeated Tony the Tiger.
Yeah, I think it was a question of do you believe in magic or not?
Do you believe in magic?
People who just saw Lucky as a scrawny little trickster didn't vote for him, but they were discounting the magic. So, well done, Tony. Thank you, everybody who got involved in the poll and left comments. That was really, really fun. That was super fun, and I like those dramatic storytellings by Justin and Gabriel. Let's keep those coming.
Very dramatic. So, there's, you just want them just to write random stories on there?
Pick some other cereal mascots and give me a background.
What's the deal when Buzz fought Frankenberry? How'd that go down? Can somebody describe that, please?
And who played them in the Hallmark movie?
All right, Amber, before we get to the heart of our superhero discussion, what's making you happy right now?
What's making me happy right now is looking for vacation houses, vacation rentals.
Ooh.
We've just cemented the idea that the whole Shockley clan is going to go on a little summer vacation this July, and we're going to all get a big house together that sleeps at least 14.
Big house with lots and lots of rooms. A big table.
I don't think anybody wants to play football.
No.
But
maybe some PUBG.
Yeah. We definitely need some places to hook up some TVs and video games. So anyway, it's just super fun to look at these websites. It's fun to look at the really expensive mansion-type houses and the in-betweens and different places. We can just stay here in beautiful Michigan, but it's fun to picture, like, ooh, look at the game room, look at the big kitchen. Anyway, it's exciting.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see what ends up happening, and I just had something great to say, and I can't remember. I had a funny joke lined up, but
football, video games, TVs.
I don't know. If it comes back to me, I'll let you know. Just imagine I said something real funny. Thank you.
What's making you happy right now?
I'm glad you asked, Amber. Amber, surprise, surprise, what's making me happy is that this week, probably the same day that we release this episode, in just a few days from now, Survivor Ghost Island starts.
Ooh.
And I'm very, very excited. I've been reading the articles. I've been watching some videos. Many people that listen to this show know that we are starting kind of a Survivor fan cast on the side throughout the Ghost season series. And I'm very, very excited about it. I don't really have much else to say, but I want to encourage people to tune in to Segments of Spoken, the Survivor Fancast. You can find that podcast in the normal Segments feed. So if you subscribe to us on iTunes or on your favorite podcast player, it's right there.
Yes, I'm excited too. I've never done this much pre-game research about a reality show, but it's been kind of fun.
It's been fun. And as you know, I also attempted to watch Amazing Race this year, or this last season, and I assumed it was going to capture my heart.
Did you hit a roadblock?
I hit a double roadblock.
Oh, no. U-turn.
Yeah, I thought it was going to capture my heart like Survivor did, but it just didn't.
No.
And I didn't even watch the last finale episode. It got spoiled also, but, Anyway, so I'm very, very, very excited about Survivor. It's coming out. I hope everybody also can join us for that.
So you're saying you don't just buy in willy-nilly to any reality show. You're saying Survivor's something special.
It's 100% something special.
Yeah.
You don't get to 37 seasons by not being special.
That's right. You sure don't.
Big Probst fan as well. Segment 1. Mark's Superhero Quiz.
Ooh.
So, Amber, I know that you tend to enjoy my quizzes.
I do.
And I have come up with something that I think is going to be pretty fun, and it's very simple. But before I explain it, I wanted to look at who we are playing for today. We took all the people who left feedback, that commented on feedback about the Serial Mascot Arena battle, and put them into a random number generator. And today, you are playing for Tori.
Ooh, okay, Tori.
And so, Amber, what does Tori win if you win?
She wins her very own segment sticker.
Oh, very exciting.
With our cute little logo, the Orange Slice logo that Emma made for us.
Absolutely. And so we're going to be trying that out. And so on this quiz, there are 9 questions.
Okay.
You need to get a majority of them right. So you need to get 5 correct.
Okay.
And this is very simple.
Okay.
All right. I am going to read the name of a superhero and give you a quick synopsis, a biography or whatever, and you just need to tell me that's a real superhero or that's one that you made up.
Oh, boy.
Okay? This is either a real superhero or one that I made up in my own imagination.
All right. So, Tori, I know like the 20 or 25 that have had movies made about them in the last 10 years, but...
None of these have had movies made about them.
I figure Mark's going to go a little obscure.
Yeah. So, okay, and this is what I did. So there's a certain number of them that are real. There's a certain number that are fake. And then I put them into a random number generator to create the list. So you can't go, oh, is Mark being tricky? Is he going to do 2 real ones in a row?
Okay.
This is
you
all.
You didn't even pick it with your own brain.
Not even my own brain. I used a computer brain.
Okay.
Okay?
A tricky computer?
Well, I mean, all computers are tricky.
Good point.
Okay, so, Amber, real or fake? Cosmo. A member of the Guardians of the Galaxy, Cosmo is an intergalactic superhero who also happens to be a dog, who wears a spacesuit and talks, and he's telepathic. He was launched into orbit as part of a Soviet test program, after which he drifted into space, mutated, and became a security chief on a space station called Nowhere. Amber, is Cosmo real or fake?
Oh, no. You put so much detail into that. It's hard to believe that you just came up with all this. Launching into the space, that's a real deal. Soviets did launch dogs. That'd be a great premise to start a superhero. Good.
I like your...
I mean,
yeah, it's good
we
thinking.
know for sure that Guardians of the Galaxy are okay with having talking animals as part of their team because they've got the raccoon. But are they going to have two? You know, that kind of makes the raccoon not so special if you've all of a sudden got a million talking animals in this crew. You've already got the tree. Oh, man. I've never heard of it, but I don't really know anything other than the movies with Guardians. I'm going to say it's too many animals. False.
I'm sorry, Amber. That is a real superhero. Let me just notate that with an X.
Oh, no.
Okay. All right. Well, Amber, there's still plenty.
It was a great premise.
It was a great premise. It was a great premise.
Soviets.
Soviets, they know what they're doing. Okay. Number 2.
Okay.
Commander Electric Hammer. As a member of the Green Lantern Corps, Commander Electric Hammer patrols the farthest reaches of the DC universe. Like all of the Green Lanterns, he has been given a power ring which grants him the use of incredible abilities. He also captains a crew of beings aboard his starship, the Maltus, as they police Sector 2814. Commander Electric Hammer.
So you guys would think Mark's not going to make up policing Sector 214, but you maybe have never played Balderdash with him. He is very creative. I know nothing about Green Lantern other than he's not the Green Arrow. You're right about it's so good that you've got this number generator, because I would definitely be trying to read your brain about whether you'd put 2 true or 2 false next to each other. What was his name again? Something terrible?
Oh, Commander Electric Hammer.
That's so terrible. I'm going to guess false.
Amber, you are correct. I made that one up.
You are so good at making things up.
Thank you. All right, I put a little smiley face next to that one.
Okay.
So, Tori, there's still a chance.
There's still a chance.
This could be fine. Okay, number 3, Danny the Street. Danny the Street.
The Street.
Danny the Street is not a euphemism. He is not human, and he never was. Rather, Danny the Street is literally an actual physical street who is also a living sentient being thanks to his power of teleportation. Danny the Street can travel the world at will and place himself in various cities without damaging or disturbing anything or anyone.
So bizarre. It's so bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that even your brain could make that up. The Street. It's just like a weird partial name. I'm going to say true.
Amber, you are correct.
Oh, yes.
That's another one.
Is
2 smiles.
Is he more or less useless than Aquaman?
He seems pretty useless. He can communicate through street signs.
I'm sorry, I keep breaking that.
Amber's either very quiet or very loud. So,
like wrong way, slippery when wet.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what he does, but he's out there.
Yield team.
Okay. Okay. Number 4. Amber, you're doing real well.
Thanks.
Quantum Mongoose.
Oh, wow.
Ricky Tavery wields the mighty power of quantum energy and the aggressive deviousness of the mongoose. His epic but short story arc in Action Tales number 268 to number 271 saw him teamed up with Cosmic Boy, Supergirl, and Bouncing Boy to help the Legion of Superheroes defeat Cosmic King in his attempt to take over the world.
It's a lot of detail. It was what mixed with the mongoose?
Quantum. The power of quantum energy.
All I know about that is quantum leap.
Mm-hmm.
It reminded me of like Ricky Tikki Tavi, something about a mongoose. I'm going to say false.
Amber, you are correct. I made that one up as well. So I named the character Ricky Tavery.
Yeah.
To kind of give it that Ricky Tikki Tavi feel.
It's like, oh, something feels right.
Ricky Tavery, I like it.
It goes with mongoose so well.
Okay, Amber, you're after a kind of a bad start. You're really crushing it here. But are you going to get this one? That's the question.
That is the question.
Okay, number 5. Dynamite Thor, the Explosion Man. Dynamite Thor, the Explosion Man, his power was being immune to explosives. He wore a costume that allowed him to propel himself through the air by blowing up sticks of dynamite located in his belt. He would fight crime by showing up at a location where a dastardly deed was taking place and throw some dynamite.
Why would they need a different Thor? Why couldn't they just use the regular Thor? Now, I know these comic books are constantly reinventing characters, but are you going to reinvent the awesome Thor as Dynamite Thor? Well, he's got to use dynamite to propel himself? Is this a whole other franchise? Is this not Marvel?
There can be multiple people named Thor, Amber. He doesn't own own that name.
Dynamite Thor.
The Explosion Man.
The Explosion. That's such a terrible name. I feel like if you made it up, it would be better. I'm going to say it's true.
Amber, you are dominating this quiz. He is a real superhero.
Wow.
Okay. Boy, you just need one more and you're going to win Tori that sticker.
We're looking good, Tori. We're looking good.
Okay. Kid Eternity. Kid Eternity actually died and went to heaven, only to be told that there had been a mistake and he wasn't meant to die for another 75 years. So he's sent back to Earth and granted immortality for the next 75 years as long as he devotes the remainder of his life to helping others.
I like that premise. That's it?
That's it.
So he doesn't necessarily have power. He just can't die.
That's a pretty good
75 power. 75 years. That is a pretty good power.
Actually. Immortality, if you think about it.
Kid Eternity.
Kid Eternity.
I think using that word kid like that sounds very comic book. I'm going to say true.
Amber, how are you so good at this?
I don't know. I guess I just have a feeling.
Man.
That's my superpower.
He did have one other power, Amber, that he's, along with his longevity, he's given the power to summon any being, be they real or fictional, by yelling the word eternity.
What?
I don't know. That's just what it said. So he could create Scooby-Doo somehow by Scooby-Doo Eternity. Like, I don't know how that would help him, but okay.
Real or fictional?
Well, I think we're just going to finish these out, Amber, because it's fun.
It. Oh, it is fun.
And we'll see. But you've already won, Tori, that sticker.
Yay.
So good job. All right, number 7.
Okay.
The Gentle Conjurer. Alice Hooper was born to a poor family in the Bronx. She was often picked on because of her sweet and sensitive demeanor. One day, as she was trying to outrun some bullies after school, she stumbled into a magic shop that she had somehow never noticed before. It was here that she met a mysterious woman who imbued her with magical powers.
And that we don't know why she's gentle necessarily, except that she's a girl.
Well, she has a very sweet and sensitive demeanor.
Oh, okay. I'm going to say because her name is Alice Hooper that you made that up, and that one is false.
What's wrong with Alice Hooper?
I've just played Balderdash with you so much. It's a great name. It's just that you have you come up with these names.
Okay, well, you got that one right, too. Man, you're so good at this.
Oh, man.
Okay. Number 8. 2 more. This one and one more. You ready? Mm-hmm. Lord Huge Angel. Lord Huge Angel is exactly what he sounds like. A 10-foot-tall divine creature from the heavenly city of paradise. Created by Tommy Nelson Productions after the huge success of Bible Man, Lord Huge Angel befriended a group of middle school students, helping them to overcome the supernatural evils lurking in their town, as well as overcoming the trials and tribulations of growing up in a secular culture.
Really? Wow.
Lord Huge Angel.
Wow. I mean, I heard of Bible Man. I feel like I would have heard of him if he existed. I would have been older than middle school, probably, so maybe I wasn't his target audience. It's a real silly name. I'm going to say false.
Amber, you're so good.
Oh,
I made up Lord Huge Angel.
That was really close. It felt like something that could happen. Kind of like inspired by the Frank Peretti books. And
yeah,
exactly.
Lord Huge Angel. All right, One more.
Oh, good.
Sasquatch. Dr. Walter Lenkowski possesses the ability to transform into a super strong orange-haired beast resembling the legendary Sasquatch. He can transform into Sasquatch at will, and in his transformed state, he has increased strength, stamina, and resistance to injury. He also has sharp claws and is able to leap long distances.
Well, if nobody made a superhero out of the Sasquatch, they were really missing out. So I'm going to say that one was true. Amber,
I was really hoping you did it. You got that one correct. I was really hoping after you missed that first one that
I would lose.
You would lose. But for Tori's sake and for the sake of your just wit and guile, I'm very proud of you.
Aw. Well, I'm very proud of you for making such a great quiz. That was very creative.
I think we should get Emma to draw some art for Lord Huge Angel.
Yes, I think so too.
Or I also really liked the Gentle Conjurer.
Mm-hmm. That's such a creepy name. But yeah.
Conjurer. Segment 2. Which superhero are you?
All right, so we just thought we would share. We've done this before where we've taken an online quiz and live and given you our results while we were recording. Mm-hmm. And we realized that's maybe not as fascinating for you. Like the previous quiz we just did, you could play along at home. You could be saying your answer, and then you could see whether or not you were right. Mm-hmm. When we're doing an online quiz, you can't do that because if your choice was different than ours.
Yeah, in this quiz, there's a lot of choices.
Yeah. So I actually took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Wow.
Which superhero are you quizzes this morning?
Pretty busy day then?
Super busy. So I picked which one I thought was the best and had Mark take it. But before we do that real quick, I'll just mention a couple of the other ones. There was this one on PlayBuzz that you have to watch an ad before it reveals your answer. I didn't like that.
Don't like that, no.
There was a superheroquiz.com where you just have to rate a bunch of things from 1 to 5. That was kind of boring. Mm-hmm. A Brainfall one that has a whole bunch of pop-ups. It's like hard to see the quiz because of all the pop-ups. But it gives you a result, and then it's like, if you don't like that, here's 4 other ones you might be. I didn't like that because that didn't feel real. Mm-hmm. I was Batman on that one. There's one called arealme.com, Marvel Superhero Quiz. I thought that they had really interesting scenario questions, but they had nothing to do with being a superhero. Mm-hmm. I got Beast on that one, and that the description did kind of sound like me.
Interesting.
Quizany.com, weird multiple choice options. Some of them made me laugh. It was Superman on that one, and then the last one that we're not doing.
Oh.
Mark's going to delete all this, isn't he?
No, I'm definitely not. It's very interesting.
Proprof.com quiz. I thought this one had a really good mix of questions. It wasn't asking you what kind of superhero you are, though. It was just asking you to kind of identify the traits you would like to have in a superhero. But I started out picking female, and it gave me Catwoman. I think I shouldn't have done that.
Well, Amber, I appreciate that you, for me and for our listeners, would delve into the bowels of the internet to find the superhero quiz that is most accurate and that will help us to best live our best life now.
Yeah.
And so I think you've done us a real service, so thank you.
Oh, thanks.
So, good job.
Are you going to share your result?
Yeah, I'm going to share my result. Do you want me to go first?
It doesn't matter.
All right. Well, I often, Amber, on these quizzes, I get to the answer and I go, yeah, they got me.
Yeah.
At least it's pretty close, or there's something. This one I felt like either the quiz missed it a little bit, or there's something in my, deeper in my psyche that the quiz was able to pull out that I didn't even realize was there. So,
all right, let's see.
Let me see what you think. I got Spider-Man.
Okay.
You get so embarrassed whenever anyone compliments you.
Nope.
No. that you've become horrible at taking compliments. Like, is that a person?
Is that even Spider-Man?
Is that Spider-Man? You know that you
Is
have
that even a person?
No, it's not. I think
everybody likes compliments.
You know that you have a lot of your abilities due to luck.
Nope.
But you understand that it's more important to try to do great things and sometimes fail than to do nothing. Okay. You've also got a big soft spot as far as your family is concerned. So haters best be staying away from your people.
All right, haters.
Yeah, so haters stay away from my family. Yeah, I just felt like maybe I answered some things wrong. It missed it a little bit. There's this one question that said pick a word that you like, and so I picked penumbra. And I didn't know I had to look it up afterwards. The partially shaded outer region of the shadow cast by an opaque object. What?
I picked diaphanous for that one.
Oh, diaphanous.
There's another one on that's which Leo DiCaprio character do you want to save? And it's like 12 different Leo DiCaprios from different movies.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't want to save any of these Leo DiCaprios.
So maybe it's not the best quiz. Maybe you should have taken them all.
So I picked the Man in the Iron Mask, Leo DiCaprio, which I didn't even recognize was Leo. I don't know. So anyway, I almost picked What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like kind of a young,
sad
little kid. And I was like, I might save him. But then I thought, how adventurous would it be to save the Man in the Iron Mask? So.
I mean, I picked Jack because.
But then I was like, don't compliment me. Ooh. Stop it. I hate compliments. They're the worst. Oh, you thought I did something good? Stop it, please. Leave me alone. Why won't anybody just cut me down and tell me how lame I am? That's what I'm really looking for.
It's better to do great works than fail. Try to do great.
Well, anyway, so there, I'm Spider-Man.
All right. Well, maybe I thought it was good because I didn't like my result, and I was like, well, figures. That's what you deserve.
Well, let me see what you got there.
I got Captain America.
Love Captain.
Which, as everybody knows, is my least favorite superhero.
Foolishness.
It says, you believe you're nothing if not a good neighbor. In high school, you were the type of person who would offer to clean up their front yard after the cool kids TP'd it because you were just that kind. Politeness is your jam, and why wouldn't it be? You know that people respect those who give respect. Boring, boring, vanilla, boring, blah.
Okay. First, there's so much wrong going on there. So what was the first line there? First bit?
You believe you're nothing if not a good neighbor.
Yeah, Amber's legitimately not a good neighbor. I mean,
No,
in the Christian value of loving thy neighbor, she's
like people that live next door to us.
She's not a good neighbor to the people next door to us.
I'm not a bad neighbor. I'm just indifferent.
She's indifferent. Amber is to neighbors as I am to animals.
Yeah.
Indifferent. So I made Amber sound bad. She's great. So I was being a real funny guy.
Yeah. So funny.
So funny. I don't think that sounds like Captain America. Captain America's not going to clean up somebody else's TV.
He is.
He's going to punch some skulls.
No, he's
You
not.
don't do that. Not in my country.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No,
He's BA.
No. I got a Superman. Another one. You're mild-mannered, good and strong, and you love to help others. Blah. Superman and Captain America are so boring.
Amber, what is it that you want?
Apparently.
What is it that you want?
I don't know.
Let's dive into Amber's psyche. What you want? You want to be like what's it called when they're an anti-hero? Is that what you want, Amber? You want to be kind of bad?
I do, yeah.
Why is that?
It's just more exciting. Look at this one. This is good.
Okay.
This is the Beast. You have something special. You are sharp and clever and know when to put your camouflage on. There are things about you that you don't like about yourself, but remember, no one is perfect. Follow your heart and learn to get along with yourself. Treasure the people and things in your life.
Nobody's perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah, see, I like that one. I think that one is good for you. I'm a Beast fan as well, so.
I like Beast. I don't want to be Frasier, but I like Beast.
Oh,
Beast.
He's
Beast
way
was
more
good.
than Frasier.
I
So.
know.
Amber,
I actually like Frasier.
Here's the thing, Amber.
Frasier.
You are fantastic.
Aww.
You are wonderful. You're a great neighbor. I love you. You're very, very nice and very, very sweet. And you do have a tortured villainy inside of you, and so it's fine.
Oh, that's great. And I know I'm not Spider-Man because I just loved that.
Oh, so we're going to put that link to that great quiz on the probably on our Facebook and our Twitter and on the show notes, so you can take that. We'd love to hear what you got and if this quiz lines up.
Which Leo you rescued, which weird word appealed to you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we'd love to hear that. So get back.
Awesome.
Shout back at us. Segment 3, Top 5 Superheroes. So our top 5 superheroes, I'm glad it wasn't like top 6 or top 7, because that would have been a lot harder.
I wrote down 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but it was easy to rule out 4 of them.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, why don't you go first then, Amber? Start us off.
Okay. My number 5 is Quicksilver.
Oh.
He's X-Men. He's from the younger first class?
Yes.
Young class? New class?
Mm-hmm.
Or he's not, really, though. Magneto's son. So he's got to be... I'm real confused about the timeline on those X-Men movies.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's cool. He's Peter Maximoff, and he is really, really fast.
He's very fast, kind of like the Flash.
And I think his special effects are some of the coolest superhero special effects. So he can move so fast that it looks like everything's standing still. And so the bad guys are about to shoot, or they're about to throw guns, or they're something in the kitchen. Magneto's maneuvering a bunch of magnetic things around the room, and he is so fast that he just kind of like dances around and moves around and points the guns back in another direction and points the knives at the people that were originally throwing them, and he switches everything around, and then everything's chaos when time starts again. Or
what movie was that? I can't remember what movie that was in with Quicksilver.
He's been in, it was X-Men First Class, and then there was another X-Men Armageddon, or X-Men.
Wasn't Quicksilver also in Avengers?
Yes.
And he died saving his sister.
That wasn't the same actor.
It wasn't the same actor.
That's the problem. I really like the actor in X-Men.
And I think in the MCU and the X-Men movies are not in the same, there's not crossover.
Yeah, that's a bummer. I do remember him dying now, and I didn't realize that was actually supposed to be the same character. I think he's played way cooler in X-Men. Way cooler.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's a major character in X-Men.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a side character, I think, in the Avengers. So, Amber, before we continue on, what's kind of your history with comic books? Because you kind of started out there with one from the movie, and I'm wondering, are most of them going to be from movies?
Yeah, because our topic is not comic books. Our topic is superheroes, and that is my only knowledge of superheroes is movies and television. So
your mom didn't read you comic books when you were a kid?
No, we stuck to fiction.
Okay.
Regular fiction novels.
Whereas most of the fiction biblically based?
I mean, they at least had some allegory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was going for, allegory.
The thing is, comic books, I understand that people read them, and I see them, I think they're a valuable form of literature, but I have no interest in reading something that only has 17 words on a page.
So does I hear you. I'm with you. I'm picking up what you're laying down. Does a superhero in your mind, as you're creating this list, does they have to have a superpower, or that's...
I did that, yeah.
So Batman, not Batman.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess I sure didn't pick him, but I think he would have. I feel like I would have counted him. Yeah. He has to be like a title character in a movie or have superpowers.
like Gilbert Grape.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm with you. So I did think about the movies, as we'll get to that in a minute, but I was also kind of pulling from when I was in middle school. My brother John and we started collecting comic books, and the one that I was really into, is that where I'm starting? Nope. I'm going to get to that in a little bit. We collected a number of comic books, and so I was trying to think, what are the ones that I collected? What was I drawn to as a kid? And so that's mixed
good.
with the movies.
That's the birth of the superhero, right? It's comics.
Exactly. And so my first one is one that I wasn't into so much as a kid, but it is one that I really fell in love with in an actual comic book or graphic novel, not the movie. All right? And that is The Incredible Hulk.
Oh, really?
For much of my knowledge of comic books, I was like, I don't like the Superman, Incredible Hulk kind of thing because it's so strong that it's like, can anything really hurt him? It doesn't seem anything challenging. The Hulk can't really, he doesn't really communicate. He's just kind of angry, and then you kind of feel bad for Bruce Banner. And that was kind of my understanding of the Hulk. I remember the 1970s TV show. That wasn't very good that I watched as a kid. But at some point, before Thor Ragnarok came out, there was a trailer that showed the Incredible Hulk in that kind of gladiatorial battle garb. You remember what I'm talking about there?
I do. And I know him from work.
And I recall somewhere in my mind seeing that image on a comic book. So I Googled it, and I found out that there was a series of comic books called Planet Hulk in around 2006 that they took this picture from that they put in Thor Ragnarok. And so I got the graphic novel before vacation, I think, last summer. And it was fantastic. And so the premise was the Avengers didn't know what to do with the Hulk, so they kind of tricked him to get into this spaceship, and they blasted him off into the galaxy, figuring, well, he's probably fine, and he won't bother Earth anymore. And he ends up on this planet. But this Hulk, in the 2006 Hulk, can think a little bit more and can talk a little bit more than what I was used to. And so he lands on this planet. He actually ends up meeting a bunch of really great characters. He ends up falling in love with this lady. He ends up taking over. He becomes like the king or the ruler after defeating the bad guys. And he's living there. And it was just a fantastic story. And it just kind of changed how I viewed the Incredible Hulk, and now I'm a big fan. So he got my number 5 spot, the Incredible Hulk.
I wish they would make a movie about that, because I would be interested to hear that journey. I suppose I could read the graphic novel in 15 minutes, and then I would know the story myself.
Yeah, a little more than 15 minutes, but yeah. And so I think that would be a great movie too. But the way that they've taken that and put it into Thor Ragnarok, it's like, oh, here's the parts of that story that we like, and we're going to throw away everything else, because the funny bug guy. Or the funny rock guy, Korg, that was played by Taika Waititi or whatever. He's also from the Planet Hulk.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they've taken so many parts of it that they can't really do it now in the MCU.
The Hulk I know is very tortured and kind of sad and depressed, and I like the idea of him having some good...
Yeah, he's got some friends. He actually falls in love. It's very interesting. Well, so I liked it. There you go. My number 5, The Incredible Hulk.
All right. On to number 4. My number 4 is The Green Arrow.
DC.
Yes.
Not a movie so much, but a television show.
Yeah, that's how I know him, a television show. And I don't know how true that is to the comics. It's on the CW. So it's...
Berlanti.
What's that?
That's the guy who makes all those superhero TV shows.
Oh.
Something Berlanti. I can't remember.
That sounds right. Yep. Nick? I don't know.
Philip Berlanti.
That sounds right, too. The first 4 seasons of The Green Arrow were great. That was my first introduction really to DC superheroes other than Batman, and I just thought it was great. I actually had no knowledge of Oliver Queen going into it, so I just love he's a rich, cocky playboy. I think that's a fantastic premise he's a little bit of a reluctant hero, went through something rough on the island. He really doesn't have superpowers. He's very... well trained, so I guess maybe he didn't fit my premise, but
he's a very accurate shot.
He is, yeah. I mean,
he's got to be a superhero. I think in the same way that Hawkeye is a superhero. Again, just a guy with a bow and arrow that's real good at shooting bows and arrow. Yeah. So,
yeah, Oliver has a lot of skills. Was trained by a lot of wise people. May have come in contact with some magic along the way. So that's my number 4. I like, but I'm picturing actors when I'm picturing these people, so it's not very real.
That's all right. Well, mine, I'm picturing...
You're picturing
drawings, which are also not very real. So...
I'm not picturing the real superhero. I'm just picturing an actor.
Amber, my number 4 is also a rich, cocky playboy.
Oh, yeah?
A gentleman that you're probably familiar with, Warren Worthington III.
No, does he make Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
No, that's Chef Wendell.
Oh.
Warren Worthington III is Angel.
Oh, yeah. I know you like him.
He was one of the founding members of the X-Men. He originally had this pair of big white feathery wings that came out of his back, and they allowed him to fly, obviously. And so he was the heir to all the Worthington riches, and so he was a businessman and made a lot of money, and he's kind of that playboy kind of a situation. But eventually, and where I met him was in X Factor, and X Factor was my jam when I was in middle school. Loved it. I collected it from the very first X Factor number 1 through, I have no idea. Wish I still had those. That'd be great. But in X Factor number 18, or in that area, he loses his wings. They actually get like gangrene or something.
Oh, no.
And somebody cuts them off, and he is devastated. And he's in a plane. The plane explodes, but this guy, Apocalypse, who's this super powerful mutant guy, grabs him, saves him from this explosion, and says, "Hey, Warren, I'll give you some wings back, but you have to promise," what he says, to become one of my 4 horsemen. And so Apocalypse is creating the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Warren wants his wings back, and so he allows himself to kind of go through this genetic transformation, and he doesn't get back his nice white feathery wings. He gets these metallic wings. He gets blue skin, and he gets some much more dangerous powers, and he becomes Death. The Horseman of Death. And, and it was just a great storyline, and it was I just remember being so devastated, because the comic book ends, he loses his wings, and it's just like devastating. You're just like, oh no, Warren, what are you going to do? And then we're kind of happy that he gets him back, but it's under some pretty bad scenarios. So he's, so that's my number 4, Angel.
Where did the X-Men movies leave Angel? I remember he was like an abused teenager. His dad was abusive, and he tried to cut off his own wings. That's all I remember, is watching him try to cut off his own wings in a bathroom mirror.
What about what? So weren't the 4 horsemen in? Wasn't there a movie with Apocalypse recently?
Yeah, that's the last one.
Were the 4 horsemen in it? Was Warren?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. So
I really like the X-Men, though.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well,
we don't watch them, but we're really glad they're out there. So my number 3, Angel, Warren Worthington III.
All right. My number 3. Was number 4 your Angel?
Angel was my number 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. My number 3, Iron Man.
Ooh, he almost made my list.
And he really doesn't have powers either. He just has a lot of money and a special suit. So powers are not important to me, apparently. I really enjoy Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal of Iron Man, Tony Stark. I just think he's hilarious and cocky and smart, and I think rich is a good attribute in your superheroes. They can do a lot. Those cool gadgets and machines. I really liked his bit parts in the Spider-Man movie. He's got the empty suits that fly around, and he can just kind of control them while he's at a party in Dubai or whatever. Yeah, he's probably watching that magical fountain in Dubai.
Oh yeah, I really like Iron Man as well. I guess I liked the first movie, and I kind of like Tony Stark in general in the Marvel movies, but I did collect Iron Man when I was collecting comic books, and yeah, there's just something engaging about this character. I don't know. I don't really have much to add to that, but
I think he's well written, well cast. I mean, it's just perfect.
Yeah, Robert Downey's great.
I think the fear or the guess going into our summer Avengers movie is that he might die. He might be ready to be done.
I think he's ready to be done, yeah.
And that's okay, because we can still enjoy him in the movies we've got.
Absolutely. So my actual number 3 is Thor.
Nice.
Thor. I did not read or collect Thor comic books, so I didn't know anything about him other than he existed before the Thor movies came out. But I really, really liked it. Like you, I like the portrayal by Chris Hemsworth, and he does such a good job. There's so much more. It just feels like there's a lot of humor and lightness to the Thor movies.
Yeah.
That is,
even though terrible things happen.
Bad things happen. Yeah. And so I really liked the first one where he's dating Natalie Portman, who plays Jane Foster. Yeah. And I just thought it was great. I like the idea of Mjolnir, whoever holds this hammer that possesses the power of Thor. And I don't know. I just think that this idea of these gods and goddesses that live on this island that kind of protect the 9 realms is just an intriguing, interesting story. He's super powerful. He's funny. Chris Hemsworth is great. Do I have anything else? No, that's it. And I loved Thor Ragnarok. That was probably my favorite my favorite superhero Marvel movie. I said that Black Panther was the other day, but probably Thor Ragnarok beats out Black Panther for me.
Black Panther was great.
So, and a lot of that was because of Korg and the bug guy, and, and there's just so what's his name who played the Master from Jurassic Park and
Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, so the casting was so good.
Yes,
and the Hulk was in it. So they had a lot going for it.
It was great. If any of you haven't heard our Thor Ragnarok cast, you can go find that. In
go
our
back. It's out there. So there you go, Amber. My number 3, Thor.
All right.
Odinson.
Thank you for getting the last name in there. That not Thor Explosion Man.
Not the Thor Dynamite, the Explosion Man.
All right. My number 2 is Spider-Man.
Oh.
In all of his non-complimentary ways.
Yes. No. Yeah. Don't compliment him. He hates that.
Yeah. So I watched all the Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man movies, and I thought they were okay. At that point, I was like, oh, I don't like spiders, necessarily. I don't really like that his suit covers up his face. You cast these attractive actors, not that Tobey was attractive, but why do you cover up his face? I just didn't have any affinity, really, especially towards Spider-Man. Then Tom Holland came along, redid Spider-Man when we didn't think we needed it. I actually really liked that. I really liked him. I thought he portrayed it really well. I enjoyed those movies a lot. And then they decided to do it. No. And then Andrew Garfield came along.
Oh, that's the one you liked.
No. I mean, I did. I liked him way better than Tobey Maguire. He's what brought Spider-Man alive to me. There we go. And I really enjoyed it. Darn it. I messed it up. Tom Holland's the best. That's the most recent one. Yes. I like him the best. I didn't think we needed another Spider-Man. I thought, this is ridiculous. How are we doing this franchise again with another actor? But it was great. It's
very confusing. There's a lot of different actors playing Spider-Man.
I know. And I'm basing my whole thing on whether or not I like the actor. No, that's 2 in my top 5 with the name Peter.
Peter Parker.
And Peter Maximoff.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I really liked the most recent Spider-Man as well. Yeah, they keep dragging me back in. I know. Keep feeling
How did
like
they do that?
I don't care about another superhero movie, and then somehow I'm like, I go watch it, and it's so good. Yeah. So they're doing a great job. Yeah. So Spider-Man didn't make my list. I do like him. I remember as a kid watching the cartoon Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends with the Flaming Torch and Invisible Girl, and that was fun. He's just a kid, as well. And I think that's what this last movie really captured was the youthfulness of him.
Yeah, this is the youngest he'd seemed.
And so, and that's what he's 14, 15, 16 years old maybe in the comic books. And they always get portrayed as like a 20-year-old something or other. So I like that. So
yeah.
All right. Well, that's awesome. My number 2, Amber, is a hero that we all love, that we all need. His name is Captain America.
Really? Number 2?
My number 2. He is, and I've got some reasons.
Okay.
He is an average guy, right? And he's a little below average, actually. He's a below average guy, but he becomes super. And what we learn in this process is that it's not really his strength or his abilities that make him super, but it's his character, right? That he's just a man who is willing to stand up for what is right. He's a man who is willing to take it on the nose to make sure that this sounds cheesy, that justice or equality is defended.
Cheesy. He's 400% cheesy.
But like that is the ideals that we look up to. Like that's what we want to see in people are the ideals and the characteristics which our friend Steve Rogers embodies.
You're right.
And I think it was really interesting in the first Captain America movie, he's this scrawny kid. He's trying to get into the army in World War II or whatever, before World War II, and he gets beat up and he can't do it, but like he has this tenacity and this resolve, and that is why they choose him to be to partake in this process to turn him into this super weapon kind of a guy. And he's awesome. And I don't know. I like that.
That is cool. That's cool how they take the average guy, and I get that.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, when you think of the story arc of Luke Skywalker, he's just this regular, random little guy that's on this kind of out in the middle of nowhere planet, and yet he's drawn into this bigger adventure and comes to find out, oh, wait, he is amazing, and he's got these superpowers. And as a young boy, that always spoke to me. Heck, it still speaks to me today. And so I think part of that was still in Captain America. I was like, oh, wait, I can do that too. I can be a hero, even though maybe I don't have those superpowers or whatever. And I love the shield. I love that for some weird reason that round shield boomerangs back to him.
Yeah. You can do a lot with that.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's my number 2, Captain America.
I'm wondering what it means about me that I didn't have a crush on either of those, Captain America or Luke Skywalker. But I did have a crush on you.
Yeah. I'm probably not as good of a person as Captain America.
Thankfully.
Or Luke Skywalker. So.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is. The truth is out. Amber, hey, thanks for revealing that, Amber. That's great.
Oh, no. My number 1. Best superhero? Thor. We've already talked about him in a whole podcast, and you talked about him a couple of characters ago. But he is my favorite. Most attractive, but really funny. He's self-assured. I guess he's cocky, but he's able to be more is self-deprecating the word? Like, he can make fun of himself, and he does ridiculous things. His humor and delivery is really, really good in the movies.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yep, and I really like his whole planet. I like the aesthetic, the visuals.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a really cool world that they set up there, and I've enjoyed every minute that he's been on screen, and that's what I'm basing it on. I like the lore of Thor as well.
Thor lore.
Yeah.
And so I think that Thor seems to be an upstanding...
what's the difference?
Good guy.
Maybe it's the long hair.
Maybe it's the long hair.
If Captain
I did
America
have
grew
long hair when we met.
Oh my gosh, that's it. It's just that little glimpse of authority bucking right there is what I need.
Well, you want to talk about authority bucking? Captain America does that in spades in the Captain America Civil War.
That was his best.
Yeah. And I think you're going to love him in Avengers Infinity War. I think that's the one that's coming up here. So
I hope so.
Yeah. All right. Well, Amber, I really like that. Good one. My number 1 is Cyclops. This wasn't even a question.
Wow.
Just forever. He's just been my guy. As I said, when I was starting to collect comics, X Factor was my jam. He is the founder of the X-Men and then later became the founder of X Factor. And he's great. His name is Scott Summers. He, let's see, what do I know about him?
He's of course, tragic, right?
Can emit this powerful beam of energy from his eyes, but he can't control it. So he has to wear these fancy glasses or eyewear, and was in love with Jean Grey.
Yeah.
And Jean Grey, there's that whole, the Phoenix, she died in some way, and the Phoenix Force, and blah, blah, blah. Whoops. So Cyclops is usually portrayed, this is from Wikipedia, Amber, as the archetypal hero of traditional American popular culture, the opposite of the tough anti-authority anti-heroes that emerged in American pop culture after the Vietnam War. For example, Wolverine. And so I think it's kind of along those same lines. He's the good guy. He does what is right.
Yeah.
He is willing to, lay down kind of his desires and his rights for somebody else. And there's something about that, right? And though he does get kind of persnickety when him and Wolverine are fighting over Jean Grey. But he's one of Marvel's most popular characters. He was rated number 1 on IGN's top 25 X-Men from the past 40 years.
Really? Wow.
And he was 39th in their 2011 list of top 100 comic book heroes. So he's very popular all across the board. People love Cyclops. He's a great leader. He is got an awesome superpower. where he blows things up with a laser beam, and he's dating Jean Grey.
I think I didn't really know about him until I watched the X-Men movie, and he's being recruited to the academy, and he's very sad because he can't look at anything without destroying it. Do powers come on during puberty and X-Men? Is that how it works?
Yeah, different times.
So he didn't, as a baby, he was okay, but yeah, he was real sad. He couldn't look at anybody or do anything.
But most of those X-Men, most of those mutants were troubled and struggling, and you have this tension between Professor X, who wants to bring them in and help them and bring unity. We can live together with normal people and mutants, and then you've got what's his name, Magneto, who also kind of wants to help these kids, but he's going to twist them, and he's trying to start this war, and he's like, hey, let's just get rid of the regular people because we are the evolution of the human species. So and I just like that dichotomy between the two, and Scott Summers definitely falls right in there with Professor X. Good guy, gonna save the world. Let's be friends. So there you go.
Well, very cool.
My number one.
I wouldn't have guessed that, but I understand your reasoning.
There you go.
We want to thank you guys for joining us. We'd love to hear from you. You can leave feedback about this episode on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram at SegmentsCast. You can send us an email at segmentscast@gmail.com. You can also find us on our episode page at segments.libsyn.com.
Yeah, and we are on Spotify, so you can look us up there. We're on iTunes. You can find us in your favorite podcast player. If you've got one of them old iPhones, there's a native app built right in that you can download and listen to segments on. Or if I use Pocket Cast or download one of the other free podcast players, and you can subscribe to us there, that would be fantastic. It really helps us out if we get those subscribers.
What we're going to ask you to do, as far as a question goes, is to take that superhero quiz.
Yes.
Let us know who you get.
We want to know who our listeners are.
If you have the capability, you're taking it on your phone or whatever, take a little screenshot and post it in the comments. Then we can actually see the description of your character. Or copy-paste it, I suppose. It doesn't hurt you to leave any comments or feedback, and you might win a sticker.
You might win a sticker. That's what we're saying. So we want to thank Emma for the logo and the graphics so much, and for the logo and graphics that you did for Segments Has Spoken, a Survivor fan cast that's coming out this week.
Yay.
If you want her to draw you something, she's taking commissions on Twitter @ofhauntings.
Yes. And then EDM Samurai, our nephew, and our awesome Tony the Tiger versus Lucky the Leprechaun dramatic storytelling author. We want to thank him for the intro and outro music. You can find him.
Smooth ending.
Oh, I know. Mm-hmm. Woo. You can find him on SoundCloud at EDM Samurai.
And Amber, I just want you to remember one thing. With great power comes great responsibility.
That's deep.
That's what Spider-Man's
Oh, is that said. Spider-Man's thing?
It's Spider-Man's thing.
And he's like, quit complimenting me.
Uncle Owen. Stop it! Uncle, it's not Uncle Owen. That's Luke.
Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben. Po Buddy's nerfect.